There's a plastic boom in the US right now. Companies are building massive plants that will turn natural gas from fracking into plastic. But some say there's already too much plastic in the world. Plastics are getting into the food chain and the bodies of birds, whales, even humans. Some of that plastic will soon be originating in Pennsylvania. Several companies want to take a natural gas byproduct called ethane, found in abundance underneath the state, and turn it into plastic. They do that by running the ethane through a plant called a cracker, where the ethane is heated to around 1,500 degrees. This cracking, or breaking of the molecular bonds, forms ethylene, which can be strung together into long chains, like Legos. This string is called polyethylene. It's the most widely used plastic in the world, used in everything from grocery bags to electrical wires to artificial hip joints. Shell is building a plant in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, which will produce around 1.8 million tons of this plastic a year in the form of tiny pellets, each the size of a lentil. That's enough to make more than 100 billion plastic bottles a year. More plastic bottles than it would take to fill the Empire State Building every week. And with all the fracking in Appalachia, it's thought there's enough ethane to supply 4 more ethane crackers in the region. Each could produce as much plastic as the Shell plant. This build-out is happening as many countries are trying to limit their consumption of plastic. That's because around 40% of all plastic is packaging, like food wrappers, used once and thrown away. Only 9% of plastic gets recycled in the US, and a lot of plastic, around 9 million tons a year, ends up in the ocean. Once it's in the ocean, this plastic never goes away. It just breaks down into tiny pieces called microplastics, which can be ingested by wildlife. Even fibers from synthetic clothing and tires can end up in waterways, like rivers and streams, and eventually the ocean. Microplastic can also absorb bacteria and toxic chemicals in the water, and these move up the food chain. There's now a global movement to deal with plastic pollution, to ban or tax plastic bags and containers, improve recycling programs, and create alternative forms of packaging. Appalachia is poised to produce millions of tons of new plastic a year. The question remains, what will happen to it all?